Okay, how much time do we have of the?
1 minute and 10 seconds.
Okay.
Did you want to hear it?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Snow Country Ski Report is brought to you by Indeed. Hiring? Start finding the right people right away. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The great combination of fresh snow and warmer weather moving in makes St. Patrick's Day a lucky day to be on the slopes. Rest of the week will be pretty nice, too, with temperatures in the 50s every day. And we did pick up a half foot of fresh snow to start out the week, too, at Bear Mountain and Snow Summit. Both spots combining for 52 trails. That's about 25 trails at each spot. Mountain High picked up 22 inches of fresh snow since those storms moved in late last week, and they're skiing and riding on 3 dozen slopes. They have action till 10 o'clock at night at Mountain High, and Snow Valley skiing and riding on 17 pack powder trails. They got a foot and a half of fresh snow since late last week. Mammoth reopened a bunch of trails. They're on 155 slopes, picking up 27 inches of fresh snow since this time last week. Mammoth stays open with a lot of terrain for the next couple months and beyond. I'm Chuck Devine on KMET 1490 AM.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
That's right.
That's
It's
right.
the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, LinkedIn. Glad to have you with us on today's beautiful day. Of course, March 17th marks St. Patrick's Day. Yes, that's right. Mario's reminding us it is exactly that. And Jesse, we got Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Did you ever? I'm sorry, what?
You're not wearing green.
I was going to say the same to you. You caught me, actually. Darn it.
I'm wearing green. You just can't see it.
Yeah, I believe that. Like what? Green pants? Green
Maybe I'm wearing green socks. I don't know.
And that means no. Because do you remember in school, you were always reminded, if you forgot it wasn't like St. Patrick's Day, what happened with you kids in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, pinching city. Everyone would try and pinch you if you didn't have green. I hated that day. I did not want to go to school if I had green, and if I forgot, I was like, oh my God, where is everybody?
Yeah, that's exactly it. St. Patrick's Day, of course, coming around. I'll be honest, I completely forgot about it, to be honest. In the U.S., of course, it's been celebrated since before the country was formed. At times, the holiday has been a lot of green beer, parades, talk of leprechauns. In Ireland, St. Patrick's Day takes on a more solemn mood. It wasn't until the United States broadcast in Ireland that some of the Yankee ways spread across the pond. One Irish-American tradition not common to Ireland is corned beef and cabbage. So there you go. And oddly enough, what's the background of St. Patrick's Day? What do you think it is, Jesse?
St. Patrick's Day. I want to say it has something to do with snakes, but I could be wrong.
Snakes and leprechauns and a little bit of gold, huh? Actually, I have no idea. Let's see. According to this, St. Patrick's Day kicks off a worldwide celebration known as the Feast of St. Patrick. On March 17th, many will wear green in honor of the Irish and decorate with shamrocks. According to lore, the wearing of the green tradition dates back to a story written about St. Patrick in 1726. Now, St. Patrick, in a AD 385 to 461, okay, 385 to 461, used the shamrock to illustrate the Trinity and wore green clothing. And while the story is unlikely to be true, many will revel in the Irish heritage and eat traditional Irish fare too. So there you go. That's the story. There it is. And yes, however you do it, just remember, I made Lucky Charms, right? They're always kind of good to have on hand. God, I love Lucky Charms. Aren't they good?
I want to say yes. I like the theory of Lucky Charms, but the only marshmallow cereal I like is Count Chocula.
Oh, Count Chocula. I forgot about Count Chocula. That's actually a good idea. Yeah. Count Chocula. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there you go. Lots of stories coming in. This one which we're watching kind of closely here. And this was one where I thought, and it begins. The vaccine, which is not authorized in the U.S., from AstraZeneca. We've heard about this, right, Jesse? The AstraZeneca one. You've got Pfizer. You've got Moderna. You've got Johnson & Johnson. And then AstraZeneca. According to this, 10 European nations have paused the rollout, including some of the biggest: Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands. Why? Reports of dangerous blood clots in some recipients. The vaccine has already been approved by dozens of countries, including Europe, though Europe's top drug regulator, Emmer Cook, pushed back against safety concerns, saying there's no indication that vaccination has caused these conditions. But you know what? Good to be on the safe side. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, most definitely. If there's a chance of getting blood clots, that's pretty serious.
Yeah. So, and I will say something about Europe. Europe bans well over 2,000 different chemicals that they allow here, and or food items. Yeah,
What?
they're very, very, very okay. Let's just put it this way: when it comes to, remember when it was a big thing about genetically modified, what do they call it? GMO, right?
Yeah.
Over there, it had already been not a thing because they already kind of voted against it, right? Here, everybody's like, yay, let's go ahead and do that, right? That was a big thing here, and then it got kind of not talked about. Now you see fruits and vegetables where it says genetically modified, and you're like, there's so much smaller. I don't know if you've noticed that, but the bananas are tinier, or sometimes they're really big, and they're abnormal sizes, right? Not typical sizes of typical bananas. I don't know if you've noticed that, but going to the fruit aisle, you'll find organic versus genetically modified. Do you know what I'm talking about? Genetically modified? You have that face like, what is he?
I know what you're thinking about. Now I'm just thinking about all the vegetables because now that I'm recalling, there are two different piles.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. You know, I'm glad I'm bringing this up. I'm sorry, because it was a big thing like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
When we were talking about it, and there was this big debate back and forth. You know, do you want to get Monsanto and all the ones that basically modify the fruits and vegetables to be able to basically, there was a lot of back and forth. Okay. I'm not going to resurrect that idea because everybody voted against it, whatever. However, the reality is, you know, do you control the food supply by modifying the way it grows or how much it grows, or modifying the seeds so that they don't germinate after so many years? Oddly enough, that's called food supply hoarding, right? I can give you the seeds that can make it so, versus just letting nature take its course. But you know, there's reasons and whatever. I'm not going to resurrect that idea. However, Europe, long time ago, actually, that as well as gluten, already there's a whole list, 2,500 different things that they do not allow. They're very, very stringent. And I always admire Europeans for doing that. So they're always ahead of the game. Whereas here, FDA works a little slower. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does, and it's disturbing me even more than horror movies.
Yeah, it's true, you know, and oddly enough, in Europe, they actually have a longer life expectancy than we do here in the States. If you don't believe me, look it up. AstraZeneca released a statement Sunday saying that of the 17 million people vaccinated in the Europe and UK, there have been no evidence of an increased risk of pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, or thrombocytopenia in any defined age group, gender, batch, or in any particular country. So far, across the Europe and UK, there have been 15 events of DVT, which is that, and 22 events of pulmonary embolism reported among those given the vaccine. So that's one way of saying there was no evidence, but then there are ones that are. Does that make sense? That's called a backpedal. The company said because there have been only 15 cases of DVT and 22 cases of pulmonary embolism, it's much lower than would be expected to occur naturally in a general population of this size and is similar across other licensed COVID-19 vaccines. Ouch. That's not the way to go about saying that. The company said, quote, in terms of quality, there's also no confirmed issues related to any batch of our vaccine used across Europe or the rest of the world. Additional testing has and is being conducted by ourselves and independently by European health officials, and none of these retests have shown cause for concern. Now, AstraZeneca emphasized it was keeping, quote, this issue under close review, but available evidence does not confirm that the vaccine is the cause. To overcome the pandemic, it is important that people get vaccinated when invited to do so. Now, that's according to AstraZeneca's statements, okay? On the opposite end, Longman said a European study suggested 1 in 167,000 people who received the vaccine experienced blood clots. AstraZeneca says the risk might be lower. So now you've got this back and forth, right? Now, who do you trust? Pharmaceutical and or the ones bringing light to this? You got to be the one to choose. Longman said, quote, whatever you believe that to be, it's still fewer than the number of people who get blood clots in the general population. It is definitely fewer than people who die of COVID-19. So there's a lot of outrage, really, in Britain, especially about this happening. So the European Medicines Agency said it's working closely with the company, with experts in blood disorders, and with other health authorities in an ongoing investigation into the reported blood clots. The World Health Organization's gotten involved, and they've said there's no indication of a link between vaccine and blood clots and that the vaccine can continue to be used while its investigation is ongoing. AstraZeneca, again, is the vaccine European countries order the most of. Longman reported in part because it's mostly manufactured in Europe. Pfizer and others are manufactured here in the U.S. Longman said AstraZeneca will say there is no proof that our vaccines are not working properly. If you look at the real-world test case, which is the United Kingdom at the moment, then you'll see there is no evidence. So there's this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. At the same time, you got to really ask the fact that it's being brought up. I mean, wouldn't you want that to be brought up if you saw that to happen in your own case? I mean, wouldn't you want that brought up?
I would hope I would want it brought up. Although if I was the maker of the vaccine, no, I would not want it brought up.
Right. That's kind of the question, right? Who has the most to lose at this point?
Right.
In fact, Longman said this, quote, this is really a mess. As it stands right now, if you're in your 20s or 30s now and you're on the continent, you may not be getting any kind of vaccine until well past the summer. The pause of the rollout in 10 European countries could have a much bigger effect around the world. So now it's a question of, okay, what's going to happen next? They said the AstraZeneca vaccine is the $3 vaccine. It's a vaccine which is going to help the developing world. They badly need it. There are parts of the world calling out for the vaccine. If the European Union continues to pour scorn on the alleged inefficacy of this particular vaccine, then that really imperils the vaccination programs for developing countries and the entire planet. There's concern that further suspicions and doubt about the safety and efficacy of vaccines are in general. One said Europe has had a long problem with getting people on board with all kinds of vaccinations. I had the AstraZeneca vaccine. There doesn't seem to have been any real-world data in Britain to suggest that there are any negative side effects to taking this particular vaccine. Now, love it or hate it, I think it's important that, again, these things be reported on and or at least announced in the event, because some people are prone to blood clots. Does that make sense? And some need blood thinners. So the question is, if you're going to get this, then you would want to at least be aware of it, of being a possibility as a potential side effect, as, again, people are. So I don't know how you sit on this, audience. Let me know what you think on this. Again, I feel it better to be ahead of the game than not. But there you go. So that's my idea. But that's what I'm saying. Let's see. Katya says from Switzerland, have you changed the time of the broadcast forever or only temporarily? That's why I've already missed you twice. It's because we changed our time here. It's not my fault. It's California's fault, right, Jesse? Poor thing. So she must not change her time in Switzerland.
Yeah, I was actually about to messenger comment right now. I was like, do you guys have daylight savings there? Because we're crazy in the U.S., so we jump back and forth. We're crazy.
We're dumb that way. Okay, just for everybody, now that we know, our viewer in Switzerland, poor thing, was like, "Are you switch?" So it must be in your case 7 o'clock. Well, whatever the time was your time, that would be 7 a.m. But it's 8 a.m. for us because we moved. So here's what we do in the U.S. Oddly enough, I know people are like, "What?" But for our European friends and Switzerland, so we go forward and backward. We fall back an hour, come fall, and we spring forward in spring. Although we voted for that, but I don't know what the answer is for that. So there you go. That's the answer, and there you go. Maria says this: at work, we were told the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine they make from Italy is safer, but they have concerns on the ones made in the UK. So again, I think there's a lot of backwards forward, and it's look, billions of dollars when it comes to these vaccines and how much they order. So you've got that as well. But again, better to be safe and at least go, well, what is the research? What does it say? and what's happening to the general population. And again, back to, if this were a clinical trial, it would be reported on because it would be in a certain amount of people, right? But they release these pretty quick. And so now we, the general population, are the clinical trial since these got greenlit pretty quick. So it would be appropriate that these things would be announced and or said. Does that make sense? I know what they always say, like the numbers are so low, but it's still alive. It's just still, so it's just important. And I get it. The idea that they're touting right now is, does it do more harm than good? But I still got questions on what else is in there that's going to cause. I mean, there are vaccines that have known to cause things like months or years down the line, right? So, but there you go. I mean, I'm all for certain vaccines. Again, like my mom's gotten the vaccine for the flu. She gets that because she's high risk. And we'll definitely be probably signing up for the Johnson & Johnson one. But I'm not. I put off the Moderna one and the Pfizer one for very personal opinions. But that's my personal opinion and personal life. So each to their own, right? All right, people. We're gonna take a quick little break here. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hello, listeners. Christopher here from The Christopher Show. Hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about CBD. Now, CBD is not approved by the FDA as of yet. Myself, as well as millions of other people across the USA, have used it with help for pain, anxiety, sleep, and other conditions. Now, all CBD products are not equal. It really matters on where you get the CBD from. Now, I suggest you get it from a qualified pharmacist, and I happen to know of one. It's at Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions in Beaumont, California. They only carry pharmaceutical-grade CBD products of the highest quality. So if you want the best, you go to Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions. Their staff is there to help you with all your CBD, pharmacy, and mobility needs. They're located at 1680 East 6th Street in Beaumont, California. Give them a call, 951-845-8252. Once again, it's Your Pharmacy Mobility Solutions in Beaumont, 951-845-8252. Once again, it's Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions in Beaumont, California, 951-845-8252.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Are you a self-published author that maybe underestimated the challenges of marketing your own book? I'm Suzanne Lynn, and we help authors sell more books through video interviews and radio advertising. You see, a professional video interview is really an author's secret weapon for marketing because it makes an emotional connection with your reader that can be posted to social media, YouTube, your book's landing page and website, your Amazon author page, and even sent to media to request interviews. We guarantee that video interview will be viewed by a minimum of 3,000 people in your target audience. And let's face it, no one can sell your book better than you speaking about it yourself. Plus, we can run commercials on our nationwide network of radio stations that targets your specific reading audience. Find out more at GiveMyBookWings.com. That's GiveMyBookWings.com. Again, GiveMyBookWings.com.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Some new faces in social media land. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We want to know. And in other news, could the French Bulldog become America's favorite purebred pooch? Well, Frenchies have come in second only to Labrador Retrievers for the last 30 straight years. In the American Kennel Club's latest ratings, which were released today, they reflect the relative number of purebreds, mainly puppies, that were added last year to the oldest U.S. dog registry. Stocky and smush-faced French bulldogs have their charms, and but there are limitations as well, according to this. They're not the type of dog to go hiking with you. That's according to AKC spokesperson Brandy Hunter. Oddly enough, I don't know that is that a prerequisite, Jesse?
For what? Oh, those are cute. No, you don't want to go hiking with those kind of dogs.
Yeah, I know, right? Those are so
Those are
adorable.
cuddly dogs. Those are so cute.
Those are cute, adorable dogs. But there you go. Spokesperson Brandy Hunter said, but if you want a dog that's going to snuggle up with you, be cute, be adaptable, minimal grooming, that's the kind of breed for you. After Labrador Retrievers and French Bulldogs, the top 10 breeds include, get it, German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, Bulldogs, Poodles, Beagles, Rottweilers, and German Short-Haired Pointers. Dachshunds made the top 10 for the first time since 2013, prized as easygoing and can-do dogs. Labradors years ago broke the record for the longest number one run, and they remained most popular by a lot. More than 98,300 labs joined the AKC's registry last year, compared to about 66,500 French bulldogs. German Shepherds are enjoying their form of doggy leadership. Of course, Joe Biden's Shepherds Champ and Major have been living in the White House, though they were recently sent back to Biden's Delaware home for a canine cooling-off period after Major injured a Secret Service agent. Did you hear about that?
No, what'd the doggy do?
Evidently was a little either too rambunctious and or have you ever gotten bit by a dog? I've gotten a couple close calls actually, but never like
I've gotten bit by a dog, but it was because I was doing something stupid.
it usually is, right? What was the stupid item that you did, or do you care not to share? You could plead the fifth.
It wasn't my dog, and he was barking. I just wanted to touch him. He nipped at me. It wasn't like a big bite, but it was enough to be like, "Hey, don't touch me."
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, they tend to do that. Was it a little dog or a big dog?
That was a big dog.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember I fed a dog once. It was, I want to say, it was almost like a Labrador, and it was just roaming around in on the 15 freeway pass. There's a McDonald's there, and there was like a gas station, and the dog you could tell he was hungry, right? And it was just roaming around, trying to go up to people, really scared, kind of like lost or left there by somebody that he probably got out of the truck or something that somebody was going up the pass. And he was just left there, and you could tell he was just so hungry, right? And went and go McDonald's across the way, and then I fed him, but he went so quick at the meat, he like chomped at my fingers, like he kind of bruised him, but did not much. Like I go, oh my god, like it was so quick. So lesson be learned: don't feed them from your hand. Just put it on the floor and let them eat it, right? I thought because like I gave it a little, and then I was like, oh, it'll take like the tip of it. Nope, like I was like. Dang, like the whole patty.
What you should have done was put it in the palm of your hand instead of having your fingers near the teeth.
Well, but that's what I did, and then he ended up like his whole mouth went like real slow, like I was like, no, and he was like, and it was so quick. It was just, and then it was like, do I still have my fingers? And then it was like, it was all in less than half a second. It was terrible, and I was like. I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have just thrown it on the floor. So I had this whole moment. But anyway, truth be told, just feed them on the, just let them walk away. But anyway, the dog was good. And there you go. But there you go. That's the information. Celebrity owners from Martha Stewart to Lady Gaga to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Really like French bulldogs. And its compact size, moderate exercise needs, no fuss coat, and rather comic demeanor have struck a chord with many dog seekers. Nicole Denny, who's a professional dog handler who has been breeding French bulldogs for 15 years after 20 years with Doberman pinschers, says they are snoring, farting little love machines. She sees Frenchie's popularity surge as a blessing and a curse. Denny of Pleasant Plain, Ohio, said, I would feel selfish in a way if other people didn't get to enjoy the breed because they're just so wonderful. But it's brought about a lot of people who are not breeding wisely. French Bulldog fanciers need to be aware that the breed can be prone to overheating, breathing difficulties, and back problems. Other breeds also are susceptible to various conditions, and mixed breeds are not necessarily free of them. That's according to AKC's Chief Veterinary Officer, Dr. Jerry Klein, who says there's no dog, whether it's purebred or mixed breed, that is 100% guaranteed to be completely without problems. You should know what you're getting and know the possibilities. So that's important. And the popularity are limited to more than 190 breeds. No doodles or other designer hybrids, not to mention everyday mixes and mutts. New to the list are 2 breeds that got recognized in 2020. The Doggo Argentino joining the popularity rankings in 93rd place. Also for another newcomer, the Barbet at 145th. I have no idea what those are, but for those of you that do, there you go. There's the list. Who cares about the Oscars when you got the dog list, right? Isn't that the case?
Right? Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what it looks like, a giant walking, I don't know, mop.
Oh, one of those. Oh, those are so cute. Okay, all right.
It looks more like a shaggy carpet.
Yeah, just give them a lot of shampoo and then play ball with them and wipe the floor with it. All right, people, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned. What's your favorite dog? Let us know.
Who is the Atua Man? Can you imagine exploring spiritual consciousness through an exotic action-adventure story? The Atua Man is masterfully illuminated in this self-discovery novel by John Stevenson. Dive into the page-turning epic hero's journey, weaving together high action with spiritual revelation. Join the Atua Man and his colorful cohorts as they travel through the majestic Hawaii, the hidden mysteries of Polynesia, and the intrigue, starting with the mysterious healing that breeds chaos in London. This journey guides us through the trials of living in the material world, arriving into enlightened consciousness, perhaps glimpse into the fabric of creation. How is the Atua Man affected by the global healing ministry surrounding him? How does he navigate the complexities of love, forgiveness, life and death, wealth and power? Find out in John Stevenson's TheAtuaMan.com, Apple Books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
The Beljanski Foundation offers you the scientific approach to healing used successfully by Francois Mitterrand, the former president of France. The Beljanski Foundation offers you non-toxic, scientifically supported methods to regain your health. Visit the Beljanski Foundation website, www.beljanski.org. You'll be glad you did. That's www.beljanski.org. The Beljanski Foundation. The information is essential. The Beljanski Foundation. www.beljanski.org. The Beljanski Method, now in America. www.beljanski.org.
KMET AM 1490 presents Beaumont High School football. This Saturday night, March 20th at 5 p.m., Beaumont meets Redlands in a Citrus Belt League game, live from Dodge Stadium in Redlands. I'm Mitch McClellan. Join Brett Malik, Scott Reed, and me as the Cougars meet the Terriers. Beaumont football broadcasts are sponsored by Del Taco Beaumont, Top Line Industrial Supply, Little & Sons Insurance Services, Supreme Auto, the Sandtrap Sports Bar and Grill, Donut Delight, Cherry Valley Nursery and Landscape Supply, CalStar Mobile Home Construction, Truckworks, La Michoacana, Ziggy's Spirit Shop, Scott's Headers and Mufflers, Pericone Juices, Ramona's Mexican Restaurant, and Class Axe Auto Body. That's Beaumont High School football action Saturday night at 4:45 for the pregame show, live from Redlands on your home for Cougar football, KMET AM 1490.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And I just saw a story which I beg the question of the sanity of some people out there. Jesse, here is the headline: No screaming on California theme parks on the riots, by the way. No screaming. Gotta hold it in. I don't know if that's ridiculous, stupid, and or asinine. I really don't. Do you?
Wait, you can't scream at all?
Well, according to this, Southern California theme parks reopen as early as April, right? It could be, again, a significant and silent difference. No screaming on the rides. The California Attractions and Parks Association, a trade group which represents theme parks statewide, is backing a plan that would tamp down on shouting on rides, such as roller coasters, in an effort to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. California's reopening guidelines calls for businesses to limit activities that can spread the virus. Okay, I do get that. I understand that, such as singing and shouting. Okay, I get that. I get the idea of that, right? I do. But wouldn't you wear a face mask for that? Isn't that the idea for a face mask so you can shout? Like, I got questions on that. Like,
that is true. But if you're really concerned about shouting at a theme park, you shouldn't really go.
Right, thank you. Because there's some rides that you can't help but shout, right? I mean, I know I've thrown out my vocal cords a couple times, almost like shouting a little too much. But that's kind of A, the only way to get through some of these, and then B, I mean, I've tried it a couple times to try not to shout, and that's very difficult. Because that's how you let out your anxiety, right? Ah, right. That's kind of your thing.
I'm afraid of heights. I'm going to scream like a little girl.
You can't. You can't. You're banned. You can't. Don't come ride the ride and scream. That's how dare you. And do they have like little police officers going, yep, ticket, yep, ticket, yep. Oh yeah, you screamed right there. I got you right on
the scream police.
The scream visor. According to this, CAPRA wrote in its responsible reopening plan, face covering usage and or modifications to seat loading patterns will be required on amusement park rides to mitigate the effects of shouting. Okay, well, that kind of makes sense. Additionally, on rides, guests generally face in one direction. That's I can understand that. Have you ever gotten like sprayed, like, you know, if somebody like, but when you spray, I think the gravity when you're right, it's not like you spit it out and then it go. I mean, I don't know, because you're going so fast, right? Doesn't it stay in your mouth versus like coming out? Like when it come out, like if you shot a loogie out, well, I guess depending on the angle that you are, I don't know. I got questions on this though. I'm kind of wondering about this.
Right, I kind of want to go to a theme park, you know, hawk a loogie from a thing and see what direction it goes into.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. One time I had the window open, right, when you're driving, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get this out, and I hawked it out, put it out, and all of a sudden it went in the back seat, and I was like, I felt so. This was like 8 years ago, by the way. 8 years ago, we didn't have to deal with coronavirus. Okay, I wasn't being irresponsible at the time, and it was like, oh yeah, that's right. Wind direction is not a good thing. So, you know, be careful. Like, okay, now I can spit, right? You know, but there you go. Yeah, double check on that. So, according to this, LA and Orange counties moved into the red tier, which allows for theme parks to reopen beginning April 1st. They've been closed since March of 2020. Under the guidelines, they'll be allowed to reopen at 50% capacity, but with in-state visitors only. Visitors are limited to groups of no more than 10 and from no more than 3 households. No indoor dining is allowed, and tickets must be purchased online in advance. So a lot of do's and do-nots. Taking the fun out of going to a theme park. I just don't I think for the first like couple of weeks they'll enforce it. And then after that they'll be like, yeah, just don't tell anybody that you screamed, right? So I don't know how to treat this story. I really don't. What do you guys say on social media? Go, don't go, wait. I don't, do they offer vaccines on the way in? What's going on? Oh man. But there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let's see. Katja Wunderlin says in Switzerland, my favorite dog is my dog, Appenzeller Sennenhund, a dog who is used to accompany the cows. Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. And evidently in Europe, they actually do change it, but at the end of March. So there you go. We do match, but at the end of March. Okay, that's good to know. So we're not alone. Got it. Mario says, my favorite dog is a rescue dog. Oh, that's cute. That's good. Good dog to have around in the event of a necessary rescue. Obviously, I mean, no.
No, I think she was talking about like a shelter dog rescue that you rescue from a shelter. I know you're trying to be smart. Whatever.
No, you know what? You got me on that one. I didn't realize that. So I figured that was a type of breed. You know what? They got me at the part where you can't scream at theme parks. My head is like around. I'm just trying to figure things out right now. I really am. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to try to figure out life in just a minute, and we'll be back with more right after these messages. You can't scream at Scream parks. That makes no sense. There's no more Scream Fest. It's like Mute Fest.
My mom is a breast cancer survivor. The United Breast Cancer Foundation saved her life. Their free breast cancer exam caught the cancer early, and that saved her life. But now the foundation needs your help so they can continue offering free or low-cost breast screening exams, saving more women's lives. Help them by donating your car, whether it's running or not. They'll provide fast, free 24-hour pickup, and you receive a charitable tax deduction, plus the great feeling you'll get knowing your donated car is going to help save more lives. Just call 800-781-0965 to set the wheels in motion. They take cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, running or not. Call 800-781-0965. The United Breast Cancer Foundation needs your help, and your donation could literally save women's lives, helping them catch breast cancer early, like they did with my mom. Donate today. 800-781-0965. That's 800-781-0965.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All U-Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with a mission to inspire wellness in all. Try U-Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. U-Theory.
The Fat Greek in Yucaipa, where you can get authentic, delicious, true Greek food. Authentic gyros, Greek salads, pitas, falafel, hamburgers, burritos, and oh yes, baklava. The Fat Greek has a large selection of wines, ice-cold domestic, and imported Greek beers. Come on down to the Fat Greek located on Yucaipa Boulevard in the city of Yucaipa. Open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The Fat Greek has delivery, drive-through, sit-down, and a catering service. So bring in a family or give Nicholas and Christopher a call at 909-797-6018. Eat Greek, live long. Remember, if you want authentic Greek food, it's the Fat Greek in Yucaipa.
Listen to USC Trojan Talk with the coach, Harvey Hyde, brought to you by BMW of Ontario, every Saturday morning at 11 a.m., right here on KMET 1490.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live stream audience there. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in there. Again, even though it is St. Patty's Day, you got to make sure to drive responsibly. Make sure that, again, you have a designated driver and or the like, because they are reminding people, please don't drink and drive during this time, because it get a little crazy. In fact, I found this story, oddly enough, on LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn for some stories. And this is according to the Associated Press. There's a wave of bars opening around the world aimed at the growing number of people exploring sobriety. The bars pour adult drinks like craft cocktails without the booze. There's 0% non-alcohol experience, which actually, Jesse, I think you would appreciate this, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was like, okay, I see where you're going with this. It would be interesting to try some of these cocktails without the actual alcohol in them.
Yeah, I mean, right? Because you're like, okay, how do you get the, good taste? Because you think of like the, certain drinks. So here it is, a futuristic bar in Tokyo. Patrons can sip a mix of non-alcoholic white wine, sake, and cranberries from a sugar-rimmed glass. On a recent evening at Sands Bar in Austin, Texas, customers gathered at outdoor tables enjoying live music, bottles of alcohol-free IPA, and drinks like the watermelon Macarita, which is made with a tequila alternative. Who knew they had that? Sober bars are not a new phenomenon. They first appeared in the 19th century as part of the temperance movement. But while previous iterations were geared toward non-drinkers or people in recovery, the newer venues welcome the sober as well as the curious. Chris Marshall, Sands Bar's founder, says this: a lot of people just want to drink less. Marshall, who has been sober for 14 years, opened the bar after serving as an addiction counselor. He estimates 70% of his customers also drink alcohol outside of his bar. Sandra Prenou, a regular customer at Sands Bar, says it's just easier. I don't have to worry about leaving my car here and getting an Uber home. I'll wake up without a headache. Abstinence challenges like Dry January, which began in 2013, and a growing interest in health and wellness are behind the trend. That's according to Brandy Rand, who is the Chief Operating Officer for the Americas at IWSR Drinks Market Analysis. Last year, alcohol consumption in 10 key markets, including U.S., Germany, Japan, and Brazil, fell 5%. Consumption of low and no alcohol drinks rose 1% in that same time period. Alcohol still far outsells low and no alcohol drinks. Drinkers in those key markets consumed 9.7 billion 9-liter cases of alcohol in 2020 compared to 292 million 9-liter cases of low and no alcohol beverages. Rand notes that global consumption of low and no alcohol beer, wine, and spirits is growing 2 to 3 times faster than overall alcohol consumption. That's actually a really good story, right?
Yeah, an alternative to drinking. So people that, especially people that are sober, sometimes you just want to take a drink, but
without the buzz,
alcohol.
Yeah, without the crazy stuff that happens after. Especially if you're around friends that could take advantage of that, right? But there you go. An explosion of new products are fueling sales. There's drinks from smaller makers like Chicago's Ritual Zero Proof, which opened in 2019, makes no alcohol whiskey, gin, and tequila. Big companies like Anheuser-Busch introduced alcohol-free Budweiser Zero last year. Did not know that. Good to know. Douglas Waters, who opened Spirited Away, a New York shop that sells non-alcoholic beer, wine, and spirits, says, I have the wonderful problem of too many great options. There are a lot of people this past year that, of course, drink more than ever. But, of course, this is a good way to remain sober-ish. So I think this is a really good idea. You know what? If you can, why not? You don't always have to. I mean, sometimes it's just the drink and or the taste, right? I mean, I know you don't understand that because you don't drink alcohol. But I know people that just kind of want the taste, right? So I'll give you an example. I love a good and Lucille's had it recently, and I had it. It was I can't remember a Hefeweizen. It's like a malt beer, right? I don't like beers. I don't like the taste of beers like Budweiser, Michelob, Coors. I'm not really big on that. Coronas, I remember liking only because it reminds me of Cancun, which I had Coronas like there and in Mexico, and or Dos Equis when I was married to my ex-wife. She loved Dos Equis, and she got me turned on with a little lemon and a lot of salt. Oh. Sometimes I still kind of go, But there you go. But do I like the alcohol effects? No, not really. And whenever my arms feel numb, that's too much for me. That's my getting off moment. I'm like, no, I don't like that feeling. So there you go. Because that's how my arms feel. And I know you're probably thinking, well, that's a lot, but it's like half a beer for me. That's my tolerance for alcohol is so low. That's all I need. Some people have a high tolerance. If you've ever met anybody from Scotland, by the way, or Scottish, oh my God, could drink like 5 beers and be okay. There's just something in the blood. I don't know that oxidates and or takes care of the blood alcohol. Because why are you laughing there, Jesse?
I'm just picturing something I remember at a music festival I went to. We were standing in line, and we went to Ozfest. And we weren't allowed to bring any liquids in. So the guy ahead of us had a giant bottle of whiskey or scotch. I don't remember. I think it was Canadian whiskey. So he wasn't allowed to bring it in. So he was like, okay. So he starts to drink like a quarter of it. And then he's like, anybody else want some? And then everyone's all like, just drinking all of it. I'm just like, good Lord. It's 8 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, again, you gotta be careful there. You gotta be careful. But you know what? I remember one time I was doing Lyft for a while there, and I kid you not, at 5 p.m. I had a pickup, right? And the pickup was this individual from a bar. He said goodbye to some of his friends, I guess. And that guy was so drunk. You thought it was like past midnight. It was 2 a.m. I was like, "Are you gonna be okay?" He's like, "Well," you could smell it coming out of his pores. That's how bad it was. I mean, but he called a lift. Congratulations to him again. At least not getting on the road. But boy, oh boy, I was afraid for him because he was like, he got out and he was like, "Where am I?" It was like, see ya. It's like I didn't know what to do. I had another, when you're a Lyft driver, you have to, move on to the next one. But there you go. China has approved a new COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use, one that was developed by the head of its Center for Disease Control, adding a 5th shot to its arsenal. Gao Fu, the head of China's CDC, led the development of a protein subunit vaccine that was approved by regulators last week for emergency use. The Chinese Academy of Sciences Institute of Microbiology said in a statement, it's the 5th coronavirus vaccine approved in China and the 4th to be given emergency use approval. 3 of those given emergency approval have since been approved for general use. All were developed by Chinese companies. The latest vaccine was developed jointly by Anhui Shifei Longcom Biopharmaceutical and the Chinese Academy of Sciences. The team finished phase 1, phase 2 clinical trials in October. It's currently conducting the phase of trials in Uzbekistan, Pakistan, and Indonesia. The vaccine was approved for use in Uzbekistan on March 1st. It's a 3-dose shot that's spaced out with 1 month each between shots. That's according to one spokesperson. Like other vaccines China has developed so far, it can be stored at normal refrigeration temperatures. There's no publicly available information in peer-reviewed scientific journals about the trial data. A spokesperson for the company said that the data could not be shared at this time, but the company was providing the information to health authorities. The protein subunit vaccine is similar to those of other vaccines that have been approved globally in that it trains the body to recognize the spike protein that covers the surface of the coronavirus, although the difference lies in how it tells the body to recognize the protein. Scientists grow a harmless version of the protein in cells and then purify it before it's assembled into a vaccine and injected. China's been slow in vaccinating the population, despite having 4 vaccines approved for general use. The latest numbers, according to government officials in Beijing, is that it has administered 64.98 million doses of vaccines. China has targeted what it considers key populations for vaccination, namely healthcare workers, those who work at the border or customs, and specific industries that the government has selected. Other groups have been notably absent in comparison to many other countries and the elderly, as well as those with pre-existing conditions. They have been limited to adults 18 to 59 years old. Officials cited a lack of clinical trial data for those who are older, although the government appears to be signaling the limits are now being set aside. Li Bin, a vice chair on the National Health Commission, said, "We will promptly carry out mass vaccination of relevant populations." China's official Xinhua news agency reported over the weekend that in certain neighborhoods in Beijing, local health centers started to offer the vaccines to those aged 60 and older. So there you go. I believe their numbers, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're significantly down, though, compared to ours. But then the question always is, are they reporting the proper numbers and or not? I don't know. But it's definitely something that, you should at least check out. College president is Zooming with the students that are isolated due to the virus. Shuen, a physician and mom, worries about the toll isolation takes on her students at the small Christian school, some already struggling with the emotional swings college brings. As few as 1 and as many as 15 students have been on the 20-minute online video calls where she tries to bolster spirits, find out if their needs are being met, check mental and physical conditions, and learn what prayers are wanted from her. Every day at 5 p.m., no matter what Dr. Deborah Schwinn is doing, Palm Beach Atlantic University's new president jumps on a Zoom call, not just with faculty or donors, but with students in isolation. According to her, she says, it was the one unique thing I could do. Who took over the school of 3,600 students in May, shortly after the virus gripped the world. She says, who besides myself could Zoom every night, really get a feeling for what is working from a systems perspective and give that caring personal touch. An anesthesiologist and researcher who was dean of the University of Iowa's medical school, Schwinn also has 2 adult daughters. She says, I guess this is a bit of my mom hat. What would I want from my child? Smart lady, right? Asking other kids what they need, or young adults, right? All quarantine students are in contact daily with a nurse, monitor classes online, and have meals delivered. But being alone for days or weeks can play havoc with emotions. Tabitha Maher, A junior music major has been in quarantine 3 times because she had symptoms that turned out to be COVID-19. An extrovert, she found the 3-day periods unnerving. The Zoom calls allowed her to retain a sense of connection. When Schwinn learned Mayer is a singer, the president asked her to perform for the Zoom group. Mayer sang In My Dreams from the musical Anastasia. At Schwinn's request, she later rewrote the lyrics to reflect the pandemic. Mayer, who's 20 from nearby Jupiter, Florida, said it's really rewarding to talk to other people who are going through a similar situation. It is also knowing that the president of the university is looking out for you, and she wants to hear your voices, your concerns, and what is going on. Like other schools, Palm Beach Atlantic had to decide last summer whether to reopen the campus or stick solely onto online learning. Schwinn said administrators, faculty, and staff had a prayer day to confirm their decision to bring students back. Schwinn hasn't relied solely on faith. Students and employees must complete daily an electronic questionnaire about whether they have COVID-19 symptoms before being allowed into classes or offices. Masks are mandatory indoors and out, and plexiglass partitions separate students in classrooms. So what do you think about that, Jesse?
Plastic partitions separating students?
No, the calling of the kids as a president who normally doesn't have to, but does. I mean, okay. I'm sorry. I know that was a loaded question. What do you think? I apologize for that. That was my fault.
No, if a president or someone like way in charge takes the time to go out of their way and talk to students and stuff like that, I give them props because a lot of people, they think they're better than everybody. So
yeah,
show that you care.
Thank you. Exactly. But I will say something about those plastic partitions. They do nothing. Have you noticed? Like they're there.
Yeah. No, I thought you were talking about that. I keep seeing them everywhere. It's
They're stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, look, they worked when you weren't like, okay, like to be encased in one probably would work better than one flat one there. And then you kind of look around and go, hey, can you hear me? Can you ever do it where they're talking to you with the face mask? You're like, what are you saying? Huh? I mean, it's worse than the bank, right? You're like, what are you? Especially if they have a heavy accent. It's really, because then you can't even read their lips, right? You're like, you're like, I'm sorry, what are you saying? Like, how much money? You're like, $3.85. Is that what you said? No, $28. Oh, got it. Okay, right. Like, so anyway, you got to be careful out there. All right, people, I'm out of time. That's my time here on the show. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, for those in social media, let's see here quick. Maria says, the Fat Greek makes Mexican food and Greek nice. They need to change the name, though. A $19.99 delivery charge. Wow. What were we talking about? Fat Greek makes Mexican food and Greek. Oh, man. Now I want, okay, so there's, if you guys ever get to come to Pasadena, it's called the Mediterranean Cafe. They make like the shish kebabs with the chicken and then like the little beef shish kebabs. Oh, it is heaven on earth. This is my favorite place to eat. So there you go. I think I'm going to do that today. Let's see. And for cheap, by the way. So there you go. I'm all right. Salivating. Let's see. Algenia says this. I don't drink, but one time I drank half of wine glass. I wasn't drunk, but a little moody. I turned into Michael Jackson, moonwalking and breakdancing. I knew as a young adult, I want to do that again, or you don't want to do that again. I don't know which one it is. Let's see. Jesse said the first time I was drunk, my friend locked me in a room, but I needed to go to the bathroom, so I went through the window instead of the door. I have nothing for that. All right, so there you go. I appreciate each and every one of you. Spend time wherever it is. Have fun with the friends and family. We'll see you tomorrow right here on The Morning Show. Bye-bye, everyone.